So, in in yesterday's video, I said that I was gonna probably work this weekend. I'm making other videos today. It's Friday still for me. I'm in the mood to do it now. So fuck it. I will tape multiple videos and then we'll release them slowly. Oh, I'm just so happy with how clever I am. But this could possibly also lead to me doing just a shit ton of videos over the weekend. So I don't know. We'll see who's fucking who here in the end. If I'm fucking my future self, or if I'm just fucking current self. I don't know. But yeah. So it's so weird to be a time traveler. Because, like, I'm not even really a time traveler. I'm actually, like, kind of outside of time. Like, time doesn't really... I exist in all time simultaneously now. Like, seriously, I exist in all time simultaneously now. How did I get to be talking about this? But I'm actually coming up with something pretty funny here, so we might just fucking roll with it. I exist in all time simultaneously now. For at least the last... When did I start doing YouTube? Was it 2014? It's like 5 or 6 years. I don't even fucking know anymore. But I now exist, from that point when I started doing YouTube, I now exist simultaneously at all moments of time. That's such a weird concept. Because... like, I've said this before, and I'll say it again just because it makes me giggle. If you really want to destroy me, you know, politically or whatever on YouTube, whatever it is, get into the deep cuts. Go to the, you gotta put the effort in, but you never know. This could reward you in the end, depending on who you are. Go to uploads, right? You got my page. Go to uploads. And then just scroll down for forever. Like, you're going to go through a whole lot of fucking political shit. And then you're going to go through about 2 years and not even realize it. Because it's going to be like 2 lines of fucking videos. And then you're going to be into a lot of video games, right? And then you just roll back even through all that shit until you get to the very, very, very bottom of the uploads page. And you'll see a lot of podcasts that were me and Dennis back in like 2012, 13, something like that. Just sitting around. And I'll admit, for my part, Dennis, I don't know what Dennis's real point at all was. I think he just wanted to have fun with me and do a podcast. But I wanted to be Opie and Anthony, man. I love that fucking show. I wanted to do one very similar to it, but kind of podcasty. Just the two of us sitting around fucking with each other and reading the news and just laughing about shit. And we even did Gamergate. Like, we did a story on Gamergate. Like, it's so funny to me now that I know so much more of what was going on back then. Because, like, my shtick was, I didn't fucking care about what actually was happening with the story. I just wanted to read the story cold and just make fun of the story and shit. That was always my thing. So, like, and I have dozens of, I have a fucking pre-show thing. Like, I always recorded that too. Me and Dennis sitting there just talking about articles that we had looked up, like, quite literally that morning. And we was just checking them out. And like, we would read the headlines and I'd be like, you know, eh. It was like, it was, even in itself, it was in its own show. Almost. I kind of considered it a warm-up to actually fucking trying to perform for the, you know, the microphone. which became the camera. But yeah, we did a lot, goofier of a fucking show. It was a lot more literally us just sitting around being idiots. Like now, there's a lot of people that think I'm just a moron, and I think that's hysterical because I know infinitely more now about what's going on and all this fucking shit than I ever did back then. And a lot of shit that I said back then could probably be used to hurt me pretty bad. And I just think that's hysterical. This is because ultimately at the same time, you can't. What are you going to do? I have a channel with 5,000 subscribers. Makes me kind of laugh that like people, somebody today left a comment that the what was the phrase back in the day when I only had like 1,000 subscribers? The phrase back then was criminally unsubbed. That's what it was. Criminally unsubbed. People said that my channel was criminally unsubbed. It was criminal act to them that other people were not subscribed. And like back then I was way into it because I was like, oh, this is cool, like I'm getting, like there's a buzz about me that's kind of neat. Ultimately didn't go anywhere. And I see that as my, like, I always liked comic book characters like Longshot. Longshot was Domino before Domino. Longshot's mutant ability was he was extraordinarily lucky. He had other shit going on too. He had hollow bones, and I think he only had like 3 fingers. Like I think he was like that or something, whatever. And but he was a sword wielding, swashbuckling, fucking rogue that lived in Mojo World, and I thought he was awesome because he was just extremely lucky. Because even when I was a kid, I just felt like I was always extremely lucky. I'm like a cat. I always land on my feet. There's always some sort of something somewhere. And I don't know if it's like, maybe it's why I like Rick and Morty so much. Because, Rick does it all through skill and knowledge. And maybe I fancy that's how but no, it's really just I'm lucky. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. I got lucky. And, Bearing didn't really, like, pull me in back then and, like, have me on and stuff like that. Like, I never got those invites. Nobody ever invited me to do anything with them. But every once in a while, people would mention me. You know what I mean? Or people would react to something that I did, but never ever mention me. And I thought that was kind of cool. I dug being kind of like the shadowy YouTuber. I see the effects of my ripples, and that's fine with me. Not everybody has to know it's me. That's fine. I could be in the background playing my games or whatever. But even still, none of that shit goes. So, now the whole, I think the syndicates for the most part have been broken up. I think the people that are left now are the people that figured out how to move on and do other stuff, or the people that just kind of, I don't know, gave up. There's a lot of people that just don't have passion for it anymore. God love him. I love Bearing to death, man, but I looked at his channel the other day because I was like, I haven't checked out Bearing in like a month. I'm sure he's got another video up, maybe. And I looked and it was like 3. And I'm like, well, the kid and everything. And he's probably being dad. And, the past couple of years of his success, hopefully, if he's been smart and invested well, hopefully that has afforded him the possibility or, the ability to take, hopefully, for, if he wants it, a couple of years off. Really, and just do light work, a couple videos a month, and be dad, raise his fucking kid, God bless him. I hope that's what's going on. But, you know, like I'm looking through old channels every so often. And I'm just like, wow, fucking. Because it's interesting to see the people that are still doing the same old thing. Because I'm like, alright, you're just still doing the same old thing. Still just bitching about feminism and shit. And I'm like, okay. And, you know, other people have moved on to more important issues. And some people have just kind of tits up and disappeared. And it's like, fuck, shit. So I think all the old syndicates have really just kind of broken up. I think all that shit, that was a fun couple of years there, but I think it's all done now. Until the next thing comes along and whatever. But yeah, so I got old shit back in the closet. That if people decided to pull it out, rustle those old bones, they could cause me problems. But I've got 5,000 subscribers. Like, you better wait until I've got 500,000 subscribers, because that'll be when it'll hurt. Right now, what are you gonna do? You gonna piss off my base? Really? With what? Like, I will say this, for those of you who are kind of like, I wonder what the fuck is back there. I've been consistent throughout my entire career, I'd like to think. I have had my opinions change, and my change is fully documented throughout my channel. Again, there are a large block of videos wherein I don't know which videos I am doing advertisements for my sponsor, which ones I am not. So the whole block is just private for right now. Hopefully at some point I will get word from somebody that I can begin to fucking put that shit back up. Or maybe I'll go back to releasing like a line of videos a week or something like that. I don't know, but I don't know. But yeah, if you start at the beginning, you can actually watch me evolve as a person, change. It's interesting. I am noticeably to myself not the person that I used to be when I first started doing this shit. And the reason I first started doing YouTube, for anybody who wants to gossip, is because I was in a bad relationship that I was very unhappy about. And I wanted to be able to get away from the girl that I lived with for at least one day a week. So I said, me and Dennis could do a podcast. And I kind of said, hey Dennis, you want to do a podcast? And he was like, sounds like fun. I'm like, we're doing it every week. And he's like, okay. And Dennis would come over and she'd head on out, and fucking me and Dennis would just pal around and have a good time, and fuck yeah, we'd record a show. And then she'd come back, and but yeah, she was even on one episode, which is not on YouTube. It never fucking will be. Because that was a bad episode. And I've had those. I've had bad episodes. But those are like bad for me personally. Like, those are things wherein I was bringing in civilians, the people that were not on the show, had no idea even that the show existed. And I took those down because I like the rule about civilians. You know, I'm not going to bring in people that aren't involved. So, yeah. What do you want from me? I have standards. I have principles. But, yeah, I fucking had a totally other different plan for this video. So, I guess that was the intro.
The streets are extended gutters, and the gutters are full of blood. And when the drains finally scab over, all the vermin will drown. The accumulated filth of all their sex and murder will foam up around their waists. And all the whores and politicians will look up and shout, "Save us." And I'll whisper,
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
You know what's funny? I was watching Tim Pool's video today, and he went on a huge fucking rant for like 20 minutes. And he's like, oh my god, he's like, I'm 20 minutes in, and we haven't even started reading the news yet. And I just busted out laughing, and I'm like, yep, Tim. I'm like, it happens. And then he read the article, and he's like, well, that's pretty much the fucking article. And I was just laughing my ass off. I'm like, ah, Tim. But, yeah, so here we are, yet again. Big intro. I have no fucking idea where any of that came from, by the way. I just started talking. Fuck. I went into a thing. Oh! I don't think I ever even made my ultimate point. Yeah, I live in all points simultaneously because anything in my past can fuck up my present and my future. So, right? That was supposed to be the mind-blowing moment, but I totally fucking dropped it.
The streets are extended gutters, and the gutters are full of blood. And when the drains finally scab over, all the vermin will drown. The accumulated filth of all their sex and murder will foam up around their waists. And all the whores and politicians will look up and shout, "Save us." And I'll whisper,
just when they think they got the answers, I change the questions.
So welcome to the Ego Cast. Yeah. Son of a bitch. So I hope people will like the new intro. I think that is going to wind up changing from time to time because I don't know, I haven't really settled on an actual one yet. It's probably going to wind up being this.
the streets are extended gutters, and the gutters are full of blood. And when the drains finally scab over, all the vermin will drown. The accumulated filth of all their sex and murder will foam up around their waists. And all the whores and politicians will look up and shout, "Save us." And I'll whisper,
My name is Jeff.
Because I just find that fucking hysterical. Ultimately, it will probably end on that. But I'm going to play with the meme for a little bit because I need to. I need to have some enjoyment no matter what, depending on what the videos fucking are in the future.
the streets are extended gutters, and the gutters are full of blood. And when the drains finally scab over, all the vermin will drown. The accumulated filth of all their sex and murder will foam up around their waists. And all the whores and politicians will look up and shout, "Save us." And I'll whisper,
She spilled my coffee.
So get ready for some more ridiculous intros. That's what I do. But, again, I was watching Tim today. And he's discussing the possibility that we might go into a civil war. And he's talking about all these people that have predicted that we would go into a civil war. And that, you know, they're seeing civil war on the horizon. And stuff like that. And I was just laughing. Because I'm like, dude. At this point, we need to be thinking about how long is the civil war going to last. And what is it going to entail. We are fucking here already, son. It's just like, I don't know if you've noticed. But we have fucking violent and armed people that are taking over portions of the country and declaring it their own. And they are destroying, in every way they possibly can, our country's culture and history. They are comprised of your basic on-the-street person, homeless people that have been bribed into service, all the way up to fucking elected officials. And they are all taking part in this. The media included. We are in a civil war. One side is just simply gaining ground while the other side sits around and watches. Because it hasn't sunk in yet that we aren't looking at a civil war. We're in one. It's here. It's done. It's like... The police are on strike There's no other way to put it. The police are beginning to really get into that. That means that there will be nobody to fight back against violent extremists who are trying to take over the country, except the people that they are trying to oppress and push around. Gun sales are through the roof. People are gearing up. There was a Japanese official of some sort. I don't know who it was at the time. But the quote is, "I believe we have awoken a sleeping giant." That was after, I think that was after Hiroshima. He said, that was, it was after Pearl Harbor. I think it was after Pearl Harbor. It was before the bombs started to really go. He said, I believe we have awoken a sleeping giant. Dude. The left is gaining ground. They're in this. They know what's going on because they're doing it. It's them. They're in it. And the other side is gearing up. When it breaks, my prediction is it will be put down fucking swift. Because those in opposition will enact swift defense of what they believe in. These are my predictions. Ultimately, the military will most likely be called in to just quell the whole fucking thing. We'll have to see how the election goes. If Donald Trump wins re-election, which I think is most likely, especially with everything that's going on right now, I think it is most likely. Donald Trump wins the re-election. I believe the Senate flips. Or no, the Senate stays, and the House flips. I think Donald Trump will yet again have a good 2 years with nothing in his way. And I think the way it's going to happen is that being aligned with Trump is going to be the big thing. I'm already seeing it. I'm seeing a lot of candidate videos, right? Not president. I'm seeing a lot of, Donald Trump's things too. But I'm seeing a lot of like videos for other people that are running, senators and congressmen. And they're all doing this "we stand with Trump" thing. So I think that is ultimately going to be the deciding factor. Do you want to live in Trump's America? Or do you want to side with Joe Biden and essentially let the leftists have free fucking reign? And they've been talking about re-education camps for conservatives. So, as far as I am concerned, these people are capable of anything. They don't look at reality. They aren't seeing that they are forming the Fourth fucking Reich. But I'm predicting the 1,000 years of darkness is now almost but inevitable. We're going through it. Shit's scary, man. Like, people were talking about police scanners, and I was like, oh, fuck yeah. You know, I used to, when I first got my iPad, I downloaded a police scanner because I was like, oh, they have a police scanner app. That's cool. And I just would listen to it. Whenever I was just doing other things, I would just have the police scanner on. And, you know, bigger cities, it's constant chatter. There's constantly calls going in, calls being received, calls being this, and back and forth. A lot. Smaller towns, you know, you get a lot of dead air. And then there would be a call. Somebody would answer. You know, a unit would be like, oh, you 25, checking it out, you know. And then there would be a, we're here, this is going on. You know, like, there was interplay. There was, you know, a lot of updates on what's happening. And so I was listening to Atlanta yesterday. Just because everybody was talking about it. And there's like 3,000 people on the app that I have that are listening to that scanner. So I'm like, well, that's the fucking hopping one. I don't know. So I go to check it out. And, you know, it's dead air. And then the dispatch, you know, says that there's blackmail causing problems in some department store, some restaurant, I don't remember exactly what it was, in some public venue. And I'm sitting there, dead air, and I'm like, nobody's taking that call? It's like, what the fuck? And yeah. And then dispatch read out a domestic dispute. Blackmail, pounding on doors and windows, trying to get into a house. And I'm like, it's dead air. And then somebody, you know, somebody called in their number and said, we'll go check it out. And I'm like, all right. And I'm still waiting for somebody to call, you know, in for the first one. No, it didn't happen. And I'm like, fucking shit, like, what in the hell? And I'm listening to it, and, you know, dispatch is calling out things, and things are, you know, it's kind of getting normal. And then I hear, you know, the one unit that was going to the domestic, they called in that they would just hit the road, that, you know, the road that the dispute was on, the call was on. And he goes, can you give them a call back and see if they still need a unit? And I'm like, holy shit. And, you know, dispatch is like, sure. And then a couple minutes go by. And then dispatch is like, I just got off the phone with them. They said they're fine. And he goes, all right, dispatch, thank you very much. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then it started to dawn on me, like, the tone of voice of the cops. Like, they're just, car 1248, yeah. And I'm like, oh my god, dude, this is not fucking good, man. This is really not good. Shit's breaking down. The further it breaks down, the further we just get into it. But we're in it. Like, we're in it. The insurrection is happening. It's happening. Look at the news. So, it's only a matter of time before this action causes an equal but opposite reaction, because that's physics. But we're in it. Yay!